If I was bitches, I'd hate me a lot. Like damn, she in her mood. 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 She lit, get money too. Like damn, she in her mood.
Alright, welcome back to my channel, y'all. As you can see, the setup is a little bit different because I'm going to be sharing a story time with you guys that I feel like is just very important. I've never really shared this on my channel. I know that some people were kind of there when all of this happened. You've seen the full circle moment. But I feel like for those of you that have not, this is going to probably be the most important video that you can watch on my channel because it's going to give you a background of how I came into contact with some very low-hanging fruit online. Like when I say people that I never, and I don't care how it sounds, people that I never would have come across anywhere, like in real life. And I think that's very important to say. My synopsis of what people think that a narcissistic person is the most attractive person in the room that, you know, talks their shit, feels a little bit too good about themselves and, you know, all this. People really understand narcissism from a very surface level. However, what narcissism is at the core is a thirst for power and control in terms of by any means, tearing other people down, gaslighting people, slander campaigning them, doing anything to try to destroy their character in the eyes of other people. It is quite literally, in my opinion, demonic possession. I think what a lot of us chosen ones, empaths, and just righteous people need to understand is that this is spiritual warfare. I know that this is going to sound really, really crazy, but when you have these type of people attacking you, it is not a sign that you're less than, but you actually are more than you know. Before I get into this story, I just want to read to you guys this passage that I wrote when it comes to narcissistic abuse, because I want to first give you guys, like before I even tell the story, I want to give you guys some faith on what exactly that tells you about your energy. So here we go. God will let you wear the appearance of failure, of brokenness, of they didn't make it, not because you aren't chosen, but because you are. He hides you in plain sight, making sure that those assigned to recognize your value will see you. Everybody isn't supposed to cash in on you. Some people were never meant to access the treasure that is inside of you. See, diamonds don't gleam while they're still buried. They don't sparkle while under pressure. It's only when unearthed, cut, and polished that the value is exposed. But before that, they look just like another stone, easily passed over. That if people are not supposed to recognize you, they will not. That is God protecting you. Do you understand? God is going to make things and people look shiny to narcissistic people to actually trap them. When you are left out of things a lot of the time, it is because you see through things and you are chosen. You guys understand the era that we're moving into is Age of Aquarius. Stop being so pressed to fit in with people that showed you they admired you to the point that they wanted to destroy you and take on your character over here, take on your words over here while they said that you were worthless. That is what the chosen one gets, right? Because we have actually self-mastered ourselves. Chosen ones, we can just be who we are. Good, bad, ugly, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna tell you how we feel. Everybody doesn't like that, right? But you are authentic, you're on your highest frequency. You are unique. You're going to attract narcissist, bloodthirsty, jealous, and envious people. Everybody knows it. Everybody with sight can see. Are you guys understanding the realm that we're moving into? Nothing is hidden anymore. God will continue to camouflage you during your development season. He'll let the enemy think you're losing when you're really just hidden. He will make sure that your value is preserved, not prostituted, not mishandled. Because when he finally reveals you, the only one who tried to skip past you won't be able to afford you. The rejection you feel, the delay, the mislabeling, it is not punishment, it is protection. It is divine hiding. God hides his best work until the appointed time. And see, what I didn't realize when I was being gang stalked by this narcissistic group that I was dealing with, I would hear them some in late night spaces when they would talk so bad about me. And I would hear them talk about how, oh, she gets attention because she's this. She gets attention because she's pretty. She gets attention. Whole time they're sitting in spaces valuing me, triangulating me, making it seem like I have a beef with this woman that's 10 years my senior, 300 pounds higher than me. I'm really not trying to be funny, but it was just like they kept triangulating me with this lady, this group that I was a part of, so that I would not be able to call out their character, if that makes sense. I'm gonna kind of go through this story very, very quickly because like I said, if you guys don't understand that I was a part of a very narcissistic group that we started, it was about 4 of us, went viral actually. It was a viral space. We were all very proud. Long story short, over time, they started to write me out the story, go figure, triangulate me with this very older woman that just was nothing to me. Like, I was so indifferent to her, but you know how narcissists have to do. They have to like triangulate you with somebody, make it seem like there's a beef. That is a beef that a lot of people use nowadays when they cannot get attention for themselves. They will act like you have a beef or that you're just so bothered with them. I don't have a beef with anybody, y'all. And I'm gonna be a little cocky. I haven't beefed with nothing bad. I haven't beefed with nothing attractive in years. Always these women that pander to men, the pick-me's, right? Every single time. This is gonna be very important for y'all to know for later down the line. When they met me, it was all praises behind the scenes in private, you know, how much I was so brilliant, I'm so smart, this and that. Over time, it started to change. You know, narcissists don't really like seeing you necessarily get attention, but it was also the fact that, you know, they basically had this newfound power that it was obvious that they didn't have, and they just started to basically use it destructively. Like, they just started to kind of just devalue people. They would sit in spaces all day, talk about people, slander people. The whole narcissistic shebang, love bombing, the devaluation, triangulation, discarding people once they were no longer friends, slander campaigns, the stalking and monitoring. Now, mind you, I was the very first one that they did this to on Twitter Spaces, y'all. You can't make this up. It's very Aquarius coded, right? I was the first one they slandered. Like, I was the first one they narcissistically abused. Tell me why in about a year's time. I kept telling them, I said, you cannot build something, be destructive or trying to tear people down in the process. That's a spiritual law that you have to pay attention to. You think they listened to me, y'all? They probably thought I was just talking out my ass, although I'm very serious about spiritual law, and we're gonna get into that in this channel. You cannot consider yourself to be an indigenous person or a people whose bloodline built this country and treat your own people bad. It's not gonna work. And they thought that was a game. They turned the app into something that it had never been, like literally leading with hate. And it wasn't just on Africans or other ethnicities, it was on their own people as well. Within about a year and a half time, the same people that I had warned them about had essentially taken over their spaces. It was no longer theirs. When I started seeing the pattern, I started to actually see that a lot of times they were doing it to the observant people, like the people that would be able to come to the front of the line and say, hey, this isn't right. What they would do was slander them so that they wouldn't be able to tell the truth about them. Person after person after person after, quite literally, y'all. Now, this is where narcissists screw up. Do things out in the open. They had no resources. It was almost like an ass kiss for nothing, y'all. If I didn't do that at my HBCU and I felt like they were fraudulent and phony, I'm not gonna link up with the bougie and bragocious of spaces. Y'all, black people that are super bougie and bragocious act just like black people from the hood. I'm gonna do a breakdown on that, but it is actually comical how they would think they're so different. They have this crazy, like, you can't sit with me attitude, like anybody gives a damn. Another story for another time. Now I'm going to, you know, but a lot of people did end up saying Jael was right. Even the jealous people, the flying monkeys that kind of just want to go along with the story and devalue you. One thing that I noticed is that the men that troll me online or have anything negative to say, they're attracted to me. And I know y'all will probably be like, oh, that's conceited. No, because I went to one of the in-person initiatives, and I know y'all like, oh, that's crazy for you to go meet up with people, No, I needed to see how some of these people actually looked. When we start going outside and everybody started like showing up, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like I became so indifferent. I was actually shocked. I was like, these are the people that I was arguing with, missing teeth throwing up gang signs, just looked unkept. They looked exactly how they treated people in spaces, bro. A lot of these men was behind the scenes. It wasn't giving that they hated me. I saw some of these men that would troll me. I saw their women and wasn't hitting on nothing. But 3 people in particular that acted like they just didn't like me, I heard them in late night spaces literally saying my words bar for bar. Now, the reason this is important is because y'all, narcissistic people, they will claim to not like you. They'll slander you over here with a group of people. They will run off with your little words, essence, energy, and just try to mimic you. It is so weird. Y'all, their slander and karma lasted for so long. You know how I know I'm an empath? It didn't make me feel good. I was like, damn God, you could go. I was like, damn God, you could ease on up a little bit. They was getting tore up. Like, I'm not even laughing because it's funny, but I'm more so laughing because a lot of you feel like narcissists aren't getting back what they give you. You guys are not seeing behind the veil enough. Looking back at that group, if they would have known all of the people and influence that they would have lost when they did what they did to me and other people, I don't think they would have ever did what they did to me. In fact, to this day, I feel like the thing that they regretted most was that once they switched up on me and acted funny, mind you, they also started acting funny when I became a homeowner. Certain people started switching up on me. A lot of people squander their potential because they want to be part of groups. I had to tell y'all this because this is the best way to explain to you why to this day I'm still dealing with certain flying monkeys that don't know about the situation. They still talking about I got kicked out the group, don't even realize one of the guys that was a part of the group whole time was in my DMs. Good stuff, Jael. I'll be cocky if I say certain men had crushes on me. It just never gave they didn't like me. It never gave I was kicked out. The flying monkeys are mostly saying this, mind you. These men still coming into spaces after I was kicked out. So how am I kicked out if they still follow me in spaces? Anyway, now I'm gonna take us from all that I say here, I'm gonna take us to the next story, which is this flying monkey that, you know, this low-hanging fruit woman, okay, that used to be a pick-me panderer. It's always the same phenotype. We're gonna talk about why this woman projected sex onto me and said that I had a sex with a man that she actually slept with. So stay tuned.